Welcome to moneystream.com.au. My name's John. Another episode here. Today we've got Paul Colquhoun from RezCom Services. So here to introduce you. Welcome, Paul.
Hey, Johnny.
And we've also got Aidan. He's a nephew of Paul. Aidan's a VCE student, currently at college, and he's a business management student. So he's also got an assignment which relates to this topic running today, and he's got a few questions for Paul. So I'll hand you over to you, Paul.
Thanks, John. How you going, Aidan?
Good, you?
Good.
All right. So we'll start from business summary. We've got RezCom Services, and you're a business maintenance and renos.
Yeah.
So do you have any slogans, mission statements?
No. So look, we don't have a slogan at this point. I did notice in one of your questions there you asked where the name come from and what it means, but RezCom obviously stands for residential commercial, which is what we do. We're in the building maintenance and renos. But we cover all factors of that industry. So it can be, we sub out electrical, waste management, garden, landscaping. So it's pretty much anything. So we do have a large network of subbies that we sub all our stuff out to if we don't do it personally. But myself and my crew, we actually do, I'm a chippy. We've got other carpenters, ex-builders. We plaster, tile, so it's a wide range of areas that we cover.
All right. So talk me through the motivation behind starting the business and how it all got started.
Well, we started back in April 2018. My son just came back from America after working over there for a short time, and yeah, he was a bit lost. I've been in the building game for 20 to 30 years now, on and off. Obviously, I've done other things during that as well. But so, yeah, it was more that he was looking for something to do. We had a few jobs just like on the side. So we jumped into those jobs, and one job turned into another job, And I said to my son, Callum, do you want to get serious? Do you want to start a business? And is this like maybe something that you could see yourself doing? He's pretty skilled on the tools. He's been working with me in the past as well. So it made sense to put our heads together and start up the business.
All right. So what are the skills and qualities that you believe you have that
almost like funeral directors, there's always going to be building maintenance. I had the skills. I was been in the game for quite a few years in different industries, covered the glazing market, renovated quite a few houses myself, and confident on the tools. That was the main thing. We knew that we could work our own hours. Not so much there was a gap in the market, but there was an opening in the market. When I questioned around who was doing what in Bendigo, most people said, oh, we're looking for someone new. And when I say those people, that's clients such as real estate markets and a lot of people that are looking for ongoing maintenance workers. And they weren't really happy with the current tradesmen that they were dealing with. So there was a lot of sort of backyarders that weren't doing really quality work. And so yeah, the skills were there. Technical skills were there. Obviously we can always learn. Every day we're out on the job, we learn more and more. From my previous positions in life, I've been in business developing manager. So I've been managers of 70 odd staff in other companies, in training companies. I've been in government jobs. I've been in the army. I've been a trainer in certain aspects. So I have the communication skills. I know how to negotiate, and I feel can lead this business to where it needs to go. So, yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of covers sources of business opportunities as well. Really, you couldn't have too many of what you're doing.
No. Like, it's hard, like in terms of our business, that there are opportunities anywhere to take this business on, but I still think it has to be the right tradesperson. If I go back to those skills that we were talking about, you do have to have integrity. You have to have ownership on your workmanship in terms of quality. And yeah, like, I enjoy what I do. I wake up in the morning and I enjoy doing what I do. If I didn't, then I believe that integrity and that workmanship and that quality would probably fade. And that's where a lot of others have found that some of the tradespeople are maybe doing it for a buck, and they're not so much doing it to look after that client.
Perfect. All right. What was any market research that you looked into before starting it? Obviously, you went around to real estates and heard about that you needed some more chiffies and tradespeople.
Yeah. Well, so as I said, it started off by default by doing a few jobs for some friends. That word of mouth just kept spreading. It kept getting bigger and bigger, to a point where we started to having to look for other people to bring on. I believe in bringing people on as subbies, and they don't have to be skilled subbies. I look more at the person themselves, and I look at what they have in their demeanour and drive as a person. So anyone can get taught how to use a drill, how to use a circ saw, how to plaster. I mean, obviously the quality comes from time, but if they're willing to learn and they're the right person, then we take them on. So getting back to the market research, I did a few rounds of the real estate markets, and that just exploded. We got more feedback than we expected, and everyone started saying, yeah, I'm sick of the tradie I got working for us, and I'm sick of it. And that just kept, and it exploded. So we ended up taking on a few guys. Some were good, some were bad. I take people on face value. Obviously you can get references, you can get trade skills, but again, it comes down to that person's integrity, comes down to that person's willing to learn, and that's of all ages, whether they're 18, 19, 20-year-old kid or mature age person that want to leave the corporate world or whatever and come and work for us, which we've got a new guy just started now and seems really keen. So I'm happy to put the work in, but we didn't have to do a lot of market research. It just by default pretty much exploded.
Yeah. So that probably relates to like the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. Basically this creating a culture of learning and
look, well, I've previously had a business that collapsed, and that was due to complacency. That was due to too much money coming in, inexperience in business, and being young, I guess. And entrepreneurship, there's a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs, and it actually takes a certain person to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs is generally, I believe, 4 or 5 times harder than going to a day job. It's different if you have to go to uni and get a education or a skill. I'm not saying that's not hard. That's definitely hard and time consuming. But entrepreneurship, to be successfully an entrepreneur, takes a lot of guts, a lot of willpower, a lot of determination. Every day we work, we don't make a profit. There's plenty of jobs that we've done and we've underquoted ourselves. So we have to keep innovating ourselves. We have to keep coming up with ideas. Okay, what have we done wrong in the last 5-6 months or the last 12 months? How can we improve this next 6 months? How can we make more of a profit, but make sure our quality is still there, and we're not just doing it for money, for profit, but we still have that integrity and we still have that quality and we still have that caring about the client. So innovation in this game comes from, I believe, just being who you are as a person and growing yourself into that industry.
Sounds good. All right. Have you set any goals in your business that you've worked towards and achieve, and/or do you have any now?
Look, our goals. Now, look, I suppose when I talk about goals, I'm actually quite familiar with goal setting, yeah, as both as a business development manager, as an entrepreneur. To me personally, the size of our business has reached a point where we're comfortable in who we are. So our goals are probably more orientated into how can we do the job better? Yeah. How can we tighten up our budget maybe so our net profit looks better at the end of the day? Because there's a lot of expenses. You know, you got car insurances, you've got personal indemnity insurances, you've got tool maintenance, and it goes on and on. So, ideally, I didn't look at that at the start. And you just thought, oh, you go out, you do a job for $2,000. Oh, we've just made 2,000. Next thing, your car loan comes out, and your insurances start coming out, and you've got to pay for tool maintenance, or your tools are broken down. There's a lot to take into account, and so for us, goal setting is slight. It's just how can we improve on who we are. Now, if I chose to take this business to the next level and said, rightio, I want to be a 10-man operation, and I want to have $1 million turnover, for example. So then obviously the goal setting is going to be completely different. We're going to start looking at monthly goals, bi-monthly goals, half-yearly goals, and start working to a gross annual turnover, and become more financial. And to be honest, at this point, we're comfortable and we don't need to do that. We just keep an eye on where we are on our books at the moment. And thank God we've got a PA that also helps us do that and keeps us in line.
Perfect. How do you think that you've contributed to the economic well-being of the nation? Obviously, it's probably heavily about employment and employing young kids and that. But is there anything else that you'd want to touch on?
Look, I suppose that's a big one, isn't it? Contribution to the economic well-being of a nation. As a nation, we all have our own views in terms of where we're at, where we're going. I think I only play my small part, and that happens to just be in Bendigo. Whether it washes off into the nation, well, who knows? I can only play my small part. I can only be that business with integrity and the quality that I believe that I have. But in terms of contribution, as I said earlier, I'm all for bringing on subbies that maybe are unskilled, and that that are willing to learn and willing to change their life in the sense of they might be stuck. I've actually taken a few people that are stuck in life, and I teach them the skills. I teach them not only skills on the building industry, but skills in life on how to take charge of their life and look after themselves, have integrity about themselves, be true to themselves, and not get caught up with the crap in life, And too many people out there and do take work or their job or their business complacently. I believe they do. They just think it's all money for jam. But, in the end, I still truly believe that it's all about who you are and how you're presenting yourself, your workmanship, always doing that little extra thing when you leave that job, It doesn't cost anything. It might take half an hour to do something extra for that person, but it's always bringing in extra work. But my contribution is generally just to the subbies that I bring in, whether they're in my business or in someone else's business. When we chat, they know who I am. I let them know whether I'm happy with their job. If they've done a great job, I'll tell them. I'll just say, man.
Well, if you want to go through any of that, but other than that, it's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, I think just some people can find that, I guess, how do I put this? To me, it's taking charge of who you are and your life. I mean, we're talking about business here, so we're not talking about going and getting a job. This is it's not just you can start a business up and expect it to turn over the income you think it's going to turn over. As any entrepreneur, any business owner knows, it does take a lot of bloody work, a lot of heartache. A lot of the time people aren't paying, and you'll have money's outstanding, but you've still got your bills coming in. But it takes that I guess, guts and willpower to go, you know what, it's worth it. Let's keep going. How can we improve ourselves next year? How can we improve ourselves the year after? How can we improve ourselves with the work we're doing? And how can we be that person that other subbies that are working with us enjoy being around us and enjoy doing that work? So I stretch myself constantly just to learn more techniques, learn more skills. I'm certainly up for advice if there's someone else out there that's been in business longer than I have or successful in business. Absolutely, I'm happy to listen to them and take on their advice. And but we can never know too much.
Awesome. I think that covers everything. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good. You can move on to John's questions if you want.
Beauty. Thanks, Aidan. No worries.
Yeah, no, that was quite informative, Aidan. Well done, and thanks, Paul.
John's gone all robotic.
Yeah, no, he's made my task a lot easier. But yeah, well done, Aidan and Paul, answering all those questions. That's a great effort. Look, I guess it pretty much sums up what I was asking. A couple of things, of course, Paul, that I just wanted to ask is for people listening out there, subscribers or people tuning in for the first time to this relatively new channel. In terms of, say, domestic market, as you've mentioned, you also cover the commercial market. A couple of questions, and that is your Bendigo base. So do you cover the Melbourne metropolitan, say the southeastern, if there's work out there, people, say, want to contact you? And also, if they require a registered builder, they might not be building a new house, but they might be doing an extension where it needs a registered builder with a license. Are you able to assist and engage in works there? Right.
So to your first question with regards to Melbourne-based work, I do have subbies down in Melbourne. So I have another business partner down in Melbourne that looks after the majority of Melbourne. So I've sort of had a couple of jobs down there. I'll palm off to him. We have an arrangement down there. With regards to being a building practitioner, as a carpenter or qualified chippy, I can only do jobs up to 10 grand without a permit and up to about 16 grand with a permit. If I can apply to get a limited carpentry license, which allows me to go over that to do major works. But yeah, look, we have builders that I can refer jobs onto, and obviously we have arrangements where I can work under that builder if it worked out that I needed to go that way. Yeah. An example might be a commercial job where, for example, I'm doing one at the moment. It's running at about 6 stages. They're happy to get quotes on each stage, and each stage comes in under 10 grand. Yeah. There's no permits required on certain areas, but if there are permits under 16 grand, I can do those and invoice them, and quite under the Australian code, I'm okay, so builder's code. But yeah, most of the time, look, I'll probably knock those jobs back or refer them on to a larger builder or a larger business if they're too big. Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, you can facilitate it or refer it on. If they contact you, there could be a way out, because obviously there's all different legislation. Yeah. As you know, the Building Act 1993 and goodness knows what, and so on and so on. Right, that sounds great. And also design of work. So if someone's got a design, they might be doing a pergola, alfresco area, etc., barbecue area. The design work. So they've got something in mind. They haven't got an architect. First time they've done it. Can you cater for that? The design works, get it to approval stage through the council and so forth. People might be time poor.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Yep. Okay. So
Yep. So that's fine. I can get all the I can get all the relevant permits. Generally, depending if they've had it drawn up or they're chasing a design. So through my experience and the amount of pergolas and decks and verandas that I've built So we generally talk it through just to see what they're actually trying to achieve. So we can talk that through first.
Yeah.
Then we work on a price. Once we've agreed to a price, we'll settle down and look, if they want to draw up a contract, even we can do contracts. So then it just comes down to attaining the relevant permits, which don't take long. We get them through and away we go.
Yeah, no, sounds good, because there's also a lot of people, as we all know, with this COVID situation, which is becoming the new norm, where people are sort of, you know, even building a little, or up to doing the shed out the back as a home office, where people are working from home, you know, little things like, again, people could be time poor, so that adds value to the proposition of engaging your services. So that's good. So I guess in conclusion, and again, thanks Paul, thanks Aidan. In conclusion, I'll ask Paul to provide, and I'll put those in the description, Paul's contact, email, etc. So if someone listening or someone wants some work done, Paul, and you can do, if someone remotely initially, you know, you could be in Bendigo and these people could be in Melbourne or Southeast, and initially you could do you do something online rather than go out first to get an idea of the type of work that they're looking for? Do you offer that service? How would they deal with you, say, for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all the quoting's free. I'm happy to talk online if they've got plans drawn up or they've got ideas. We can either do it online, obviously through email, or we can chat. Then other times we can, I can take a visit. Most of the time I like to go out and have a look.
Yeah, no, sounds great. Good. All right. So, so as you pointed out, Paul, and I've known you for a while now, and I think you're a man of integrity, and you've also, you've worn quite a few hats. So, it definitely adds merit to your building and maintenance business. So again, I want to thank Aidan, who's a VCE student, and Paul Colquhoun from RezCom Services. And as I say, I'll drop all his details, contacts in the description. And for viewers, don't forget, if you like the content, press the like button, share, and add your comments. And this is John from MoneyStream, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Bye for now.